Do you want to do more to make impact? How we serve others and our world is how we pay rent for being here. So get ready to learn how you can make a difference by simply choosing to live and lead with a socially conscious mindset. Question: do you have a mobile phone? Do you protect it with a phone case? Is it compostable? My guest today is Jeremy Lang from PELA. His story of wanting to create change and then developing product and a platform to do just that is both inspirational and prescriptive. I'm a fan of the PELA phone case, but there is so much more to Jeremy and this highly impactful and innovative company. Let's get to it.
This is the Passion for Impact podcast with speaker, trainer, and socially conscious advocate Trisha Miltimore.
Thank you for joining in on the Passion for Impact podcast, where we have one clear goal: to educate, empower, and elevate social consciousness in people and business. Now, if you're new, let me share that we create a fresh episode every month featuring businesses and people who are creating real impact using their talents, their skills, and passion in business and life. I often feature companies that make or support people who make amazing products, like today, while creating positive social impact. So be sure to subscribe to receive links to their websites, plus any special offers they might have available to you. To subscribe, visit passionaigniter.ca/podcast. Jeremy, I am honored to have you on as a guest today. I am an innovation junkie. We live and breathe innovation in our guitar manufacturing company. So I know firsthand the excitement and enormous energy it takes to bring to consumers an alternative to the norm. So thank you for being here to share your story and the PELA story.
Thanks, Trisha. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Now, just to give everyone a sense of what PELA is all about, please share how it came to be and also how growing up in rural Saskatchewan, I can't even say it, rural Saskatchewan, Canada, contributed to all of this, because it's a great story.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so it all actually started when I was about 10 years old. And, as a boy, I remember driving through the prairies here at harvest time and came over a hill and saw these big balls of fire in the field at nighttime. And the reason I remember it is because I was scared. It was like an eerie feeling. So I asked my dad, what's going on? And he said, well, the farmers, they're burning their flax straw. He said they grow it for the oil seed, but the fiber in the straw is so strong that it gets caught up in the equipment. So they burn it. And I said, well, if it's that strong, it must be good for something. And he said, well, maybe when you get older, you can think of something. So that was kind of always in the back of my head. How can we use this waste material and, make a second use for it? And that kind of rolled into waste as a general theme for PELA and the overall business. But fast forward, I worked as an environmental consultant in Western Canada and cleaned up oil and gas sites, contaminated sites for the last 17 years, but always wanted to start my own business and had that burning flax in the back of my mind. And then we were on vacation in Kauai in 2008. It was Christmas of 2008. And we were digging in the sand in this beautiful secluded beach. And there were little pieces of plastic everywhere in the beach. And that really bothered me because I wondered who would litter on such a beautiful beach. And I'd never seen that before in Saskatchewan. And so, I looked into it when we got back and just learned about the Pacific Gyre and plastics in the ocean and, how it collects in, north of Hawaii there and washes up on the beaches, and then just learn more about plastic in general, how, every piece of plastic that's ever been made still exists today and less than 5% actually gets recycled. And, it's an amazing material, but it doesn't have a very good end of life, or it's not managed properly and it just keeps building up and building up. And, it's a linear progression, whereas everything natural goes in cycles. So tried to find a solution for that and found out about biopolymers. And at the time, they were very brittle and made for single-use items, so limited applications. So the idea was to combine the flax straw with the biopolymers to make more products. And that's kind of where PELA was born, and the idea to start with a phone case, because the average person keeps their case for 2 years, or keeps their phone for 2 years, yet the case, such conventional plastic case, will last for hundreds or thousands of years. It just seemed a little ridiculous and over-engineered. And that was how we tried to, make a compostable, biodegradable case so it has a graceful end of life. So try and use waste at the beginning of life and less waste at the end of life.
Wow, that's so amazing. So from a childhood memory, you basically became all scientifically amazing and created something new. Innovation so fascinates me because you create something where there was nothing before. I remember when I got my case, which was before I even came up with this podcast. So I've been a fan for a long time. And when I opened it, I could actually smell, like it didn't smell like plastic. It smelled like almost organic, and I don't even know how to describe it, but you can see the little pieces of flax in the case. So it's a great conversation starter. So I'm really curious though, you came up with an idea to help create change. What was that process like for you? Like, for a lot of people listening, they want to make an impact. They have passion, but to connect it to actually doing something about it can be tough because it can feel overwhelming. So if you don't mind just kind of sharing a little bit about the journey of having the idea and making it happen.
Yeah. Well, it took a long time. It was always in the back of my head, and I always wanted to start a company. And before we went to the beach, I just started a company, and the parent company of PELA is called Open Mind Developments. And I just on my own, went and started it online because I just got sick of, not starting a company. So I just started it, and I didn't talk to my lawyer friends or anything because I knew they would talk me out of it. And anyway, the idea was Open Mind Developments. It's actually from a Metallica song. So open mind for a different view. That was kind of how I wanted to look at things and look at things, with an open mind, and how can we make things better and more sustainable. And so when my eyes were open to it, that's kind of when I saw the plastic on the beach and then put two and two together. And then, so the first thing is just to start. But like I said, it was hard to do. But once you start, it's just taking that next step. And I think of the saying, to get to the top of the stairs, you don't need to see every stair. You just need to see the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So just, just finding the right people, asking the right questions, exploring, and then finally, coming up with a product and then, just picking away at it.
I love that. Yeah, you can't see the whole staircase at once. And it certainly, I would imagine, evolved tremendously from your first vision to what it is today.
Yeah, for sure. The very first PELA case we launched in, it was July of 2011. So, and it wasn't a very great case, but we got it out there and got lots of feedback, and then just kept improving every generation. I think we're probably on the 5th or 6th version now of the formula. But yeah, learning along the way, getting customer feedback, trying different things, improving. That's how we went about it.
And I love the name. Tell me a little bit about the story behind the name, because it's a cool one.
Yeah, thanks. So my wife and I came up with the name. We were traveling in northern Saskatchewan. We were on a trip and just trying to think of what can we call this phone case and this company, and keeping in mind that it will be more than a phone case one day, and tried to find other eco names or bio names, but they just didn't really take. And then came up with the name PELA, and PELA loosely translates into peel in Spanish. So the idea was, like, an apple peel protects like an apple fruit, and it's biodegradable and compostable when you're done with it. So that's the PELA case, protects the Apple phone, and biodegradable, compostable. That's how we came up with PELA.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's so perfect. It's so perfect. It's like it was meant to be. It was so destiny. You have said that business as a force for good gives you hope. What kind of hope are you referring to?
The hope to just make things more sustainable, environmentally and socially sustainable. And I think businesses, we don't necessarily have to wait for governments or big corporations to do that. The tools we have at hand now with, the e-commerce and marketing, and we can really find our audience, and we can find like-minded people who have similar goals and similar values, and they can support us, and we can grow together. So I think business can really make a change in that, the individual customers, by making choices that they want to see. It actually really does, make a difference, and it makes business either adjust to those changes that they want, or, it helps businesses that they believe in. It helps support them and helps them grow and to make change for the better.
It is so true, isn't it? Like, one little choice at a time can make such a big impact. And I think a lot of times as consumers, we feel so overwhelmed with the issues of the world, and particularly, so many different categories, but the environment, a big one. I know when I got my case, I was like, okay, I did one thing today, and it looks fantastic. That makes a positive difference. So growing a business that has passion, has purpose, innovation, and does make impact is challenging. Well, growing any business is challenging. And really, an organization makes true sustainable impact when the culture of the company is alive and growing the values and the goals. I'm curious for all of those out there who have a business or are trying to do this and are growing, how do you maintain a sense of passion, purpose, and innovation from the inside out?
Well, it's front and center. It's the most important thing we do. So, having that mission, it helps us attract staff and teammates who have that similar mission. And also, with our partners, working with like-minded partners and business partners and retailers. So I think it's a matter of starting with the mission first and then building around that. So we're not a company with a mission, we're a mission with a company built around it. That's kind of how we look at things. And it kind of reminds me of, I can't remember who it was, but talking about, or how do you get all your employees to be happy all the time? Well, you start by hiring people who are happy to begin with. And, so we focus on our values and hiring people who have similar values. And then it just grows from there. It just gets better. As you have teammates who believe in what you're doing or believe in the mission, together, it's better together and helps us see farther down the road. And it just keeps building and building.
I love that, mission with a company. That's pretty cool, rather than a company with a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that one. It sounds like a meme to me.
There you go.
You're speaking of your values. So the values of your company that you've built on is community, creativity, consciousness, and courage. Consciousness is obviously a big topic of this podcast, to live with awareness and consciousness of the impact of our choices. You mentioned on your website that you're mindful of the impact of even the smallest decisions. And so what would you say, everyday living for you? I mean, I know you're part of this big company that is doing this impact work, but what are some small decisions you make on it every day that you think make an impact, whether it's in the environment or socially conscious wise? I'm just kind of curious how it works for Jeremy.
Yeah, great question. So, I think, anything really, and I'm not perfect, but I mean, the clothing that I buy, is it, environmentally and socially sustainable, or, cutting back on straws or not using straws and no single-use plastic and recycling as much as we can. Those would be the main ones that we can work on, the easy things we can do. But I think it just comes back to just thinking about our individual choices on everything that we consume, and do we need to consume that much, and do we really need to buy that, or can we reuse something? So that type of mentality.
Right, a mentality you live with every day. And I love the idea that we don't have to be perfect about it either.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's not all or nothing, right? We can make decisions and choices and
baby steps.
Yes. Another one of your values, the courage part. I love this. You mentioned that you embrace as a company courage by taking action despite uncertainty. So whenever it comes to business, life, well, in general, we're never certain. When you first started this company, that feeling of taking a chance, walk us through a little bit about that. Because I just think that's where the real wisdom comes from, is that you didn't know, right, when you were starting, what you would see in the end. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's just courage to keep going and believing in yourself and believing in the company and your goals and your vision for the company, but courage to show people wrong, like people who, maybe didn't, think that it would ever happen, courage to just keep going and keep trying. And I think I think of courage, it also aligns with persistence as well, and having the courage to get up every day and get up early if you have to, or work evenings and sacrifice other things in your life to keep doing something you believe in. And then courage to take on, bigger companies and bigger corporations, and, like I said, believe in what you're doing, and courage to put yourself out there and get in the ring. Those would be the hardest things once you get going. But as you move down that path and attract more teammates, you just get stronger and build that momentum and build that confidence, and stronger as a team.
As a community, which I think is a big part
as a
of
community.
Your company as well.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you get your continued inspiration from nowadays?
I would say from my kids and my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's, a couple things. Well, the company itself being environmentally and socially sustainable, I want to leave the world better for future generations, starting with my children. That's where it all started. Like my son had to dig in someone else's plastic litter on the beach, so I never had to do that. So like, why did he have to do that? And want to hopefully prevent that from happening in the future. And then the other one is just hopefully to show my children that if you have a dream and you believe in something, if you go after and work hard, and you can surround yourself with great people, and you can actually make a difference in the world.
And a difference you're making. You have a big, hairy, audacious goal to eliminate 1 billion pounds of waste. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is.
How are you going to accomplish that? That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we are going to accomplish it through partnerships and team building, and just looking at every single thing we do and how can we remove waste. So if it's our packaging, if it's our products, if it's our shipping methods, everything. And even when you think about, if you're thinking about building a company, it takes a lot of effort to build a company. So if you're going to build it, you may as well, we believe, build it. Let's build it as great as we can, and let's shoot for extraordinary in every aspect of it. Not just the product, but our business practices, how we treat our teammates, how we help them to grow their career. And so every single aspect of it, look at that. And so, it's through partners. And as we go, others, other companies are starting to follow us now, which is great to see. And we're just going to keep striving for our big, hairy, audacious goal.
Oh, that's very cool. And I think it's so amazing that you are not only disrupting kind of the industry of plastic and phone cases and everyday use items to be more sustainable, renewable, compostable, but also just how highly impactful company functions as well. So is that a lot of talk internally about like how are we going to be mentors for other companies that are wanting to do something similar to us?
Yeah, I would. Yes. So lead the way, help to lead the way, help to partner with like-minded companies. We're better together. We can't do this alone. Just that teamwork of, we just got certified as a B Corp. So being part of that network, and it gets back to like mission and values, and we have similar values, and just, working with like-minded people to achieve our goals. That's exciting, and it's one of the most rewarding things as well.
I'm sure a lot of people know what B Corp is, but for those who don't, because it's actually really awesome. It's really amazing. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to share with everyone what B Corp actually means, what it means to be certified?
Sure. Yeah. So it's basically saying that, people, planet, profits. Those are the big things to focus on, and it's written right into our shareholder agreements and our corporate documents. So we're committed to be sustainable as we can, and we commit to sustainability goals and to continually improving it. So the process, to get through it, you basically assess your current operations, and you're assigned a score, and then from that you can get it's like a scorecard, and then things that you need to improve on and how you can get better. So it really helps to clarify, where you're at, and then also how you can get better.
Right. And it's very vetted, so people know and they can trust in the B Corp that when you say you're a part of that organization, it's just like, cool. At least that's how I feel. I always look for that as well. And I think I know it was probably a lot of work on your end. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. No, and it's great. The community, people we met so far in the community, it's just been great and inspiring. So yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk more about the innovation, because this is where I get a little bit excited being that innovation geek. You have the phone cases. That's where you started, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But you have a multitude now of different kind of cool products, including sunglasses, which I'm most excited about. Can't wait to get my hands on some sunglasses. But you have other products as well, including an AirPod case.
Yes.
Is that new?
Absolutely.
I think I just saw that on your website today.
It is new. Just launched the AirPod case. Absolutely. Yeah. I think we launched it on Friday, just a few days ago. So
nice. Very cool. So you got the AirPod cases, sunglasses, phone cases, and a screen protector as well. I didn't know this. 1 billion screen protectors are bought and thrown away every year. 1 billion. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when you think of the numbers, how we talk about how the little things add up.
Yeah.
It goes the other way too, right? The little good things and the little bad things. So yeah, so we have we're expanding our product line into other smartphone accessory type of products and eyewear, and anything that trying to focus on anything that you really only needs to last for maybe 1 to 5 years and doesn't need to last for 100 years at this point. And but the other neat thing, yeah, we're really trying to focus on customer experience as a company as well. So really trying to wow our customers and our fans, and putting more resources into that as well. So we're excited about that, and the team's really excited about that too.
Oh, nice. So give me an example of what that would look like, an element of that.
So just like out of the ordinary customer service. So like very fast response times, faster than any of our competitors, and any of the top companies out there. That's who we're measuring ourselves against. And then it might be something like a follow-up call or a video from a member of our team just to thank them and show them how we really appreciate their business and support.
Very cool.
We started actually in the early days handwriting notes, like handwritten notes. So my wife and I, and up till late at night, handwriting notes till their fingers like literally couldn't write anymore. But it sounds cheesy, but it was just a little note to hopefully lighten someone's day and make them feel happy. It actually was one of the most rewarding parts of that, just that human to human connection. It's the little things that are the big things, and that's why we're excited about that. Just we can help to make someone's day a little brighter. That's one of the most rewarding things we can do. So looking forward to doing more of that.
Nice. I hope your hands feel better soon.
Yeah, they do for sure. Yeah, we've got a lot to help with that.
Nice. So if you could go back, I don't know, let's say 5 years, and give yourself some advice, because I'm sure if you, even 5 years ago, so much growth, so much development, what advice would you give yourself, just to yourself 5 years ago?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you're starting any business, the very first team, even if you don't have any team members, your real team members are your family. So your wife or your partner, or your kids, and people who are there. So I think being aware of that, and how much they sacrifice their times and their lives for you to put your energy into your dream, and how much they help and support that. So that would be something that I would be a little bit more aware of, and remember that, and not get caught up in just being so busy. And then also the importance of external team members. So that's when things change, is when I took a really good look at my strengths and weaknesses, and realized that, I know how to make the product, but I might not be the best at marketing the product. So finding partners and teammates with skill sets that complement your own, and just finding the right partners and trusting them, and that's when things kind of really started to take off. So that was a big part of it.
When you kind of create a platform, a stage for other people to act on with you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And help out, and like be aware of your strengths and weaknesses, and get your ego out of the way, and all that stuff. And just realize that, you can go away. What is the saying? You can go maybe faster by yourself, but you can go farther with a team. And that's so true. Was
it hard to kind of let go a little bit and let other people take the reins of certain elements of the business?
Yeah, it was hard. It's like your baby, right? It's like a child growing up, but it gets to the point where you realize that, hey, I've in certain cases, aspects done all you can do as a parent, and they need to get out in the real world and grow up as a child, and they need that community. Like it takes a village to raise a child, or it takes a community to build a business. And it's hard but very rewarding, and having people who, like I said, are side by side and helping and adding to the dream and making it better and stronger. That's pretty cool stuff.
I bet it would be. Absolutely. So another question about that, the personal element of when you're building a business with impact. So often, I think so much of us can go into that because it's mission based. So you're making a difference. You're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for other reasons and other to create momentum and build community. How do you help yourself stay grounded so that kind of what you were mentioning earlier is like, if you could go back, talk to yourself 5 years ago and be more maybe connected or whatever to your family, or because it's such a grind, right, in the beginning. So as you're growing as an impact maker, and as the company gets bigger, how do you ground yourself? And do you go for runs? Do you create boundaries? Or for everyone, it's a little bit different. But how do you make sure you don't kind of get really sucked into the grind of it all?
Yeah, so creating that space and that stillness, and I think getting out in nature as much as possible. So bike riding or jogging or exercising, that's key. But I think getting out in nature is one of the more powerful things we can do, and we encourage that as our, that's one of the things. Having values aligned as we grow our team is, teammates who, really value nature and spend time in nature. And we recognize that as being important. We are, a lifestyle company as well. And by hiring people who believe in that and encouraging them to get outside and enjoy this beautiful planet that we're trying to do our little part to help protect for future generations. Yeah, we try and do that as much as possible.
So if I worked with you or if I worked at your company, you'd be in complete support of like walking meetings, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get outside, go for a walk, change the scenery. Yeah, all of that.
Helps the mind, right? What's next for PELA? I know you have your big, hairy, audacious goal, and you certainly have some amazing partnerships you're working with. But beyond that, what's next for PELA? What's exciting coming up?
You know what we're really excited about? We just launched our PELA 360 program. Well, we've always had it, but we kind of took it to the next level here. So, if you buy a PELA product and you don't have your own home composter, you don't have access to an industrial composter, we'll take your PELA product back. And we're just working to partner with retailers to do that on a larger scale, but also one-on-one. So you can send back your individual cases, and we'll grind it up and turn it into a second generation PELA product, and then third generation, fourth generation, and ultimately it's compostable. Goes back in the ground, grows more plants to create more products. That's what we're working on. So we're excited about that, and then also we've just taken it to another level where we're getting a lot of customers saying, when they buy a PELA case, they didn't know what to do with their old conventional plastic case. And those are the ones that end up in the landfill. And that's part of our waste goal. We want to, when we're measuring ourselves based on our waste targets, these are things that just become more clear. So we're like, well, why don't we take back their case too and find a way to recycle it or upcycle it? So we just started rolling that out. So it's PELA 1 for 1. So finding another way to grind up our competitors' cases and taking responsibility for not just our products, but we'll find a place for their products. So turn it into other products, keep it out of the landfill as long as we can. And we're also working on different formulas and ways to make those cases biodegradable as well. So lots of testing coming up on that. Yeah.
Is that the part of the business that you get most excited about, that kind of innovative science side of things?
Yeah, that's kind of my more focus now. It's new materials, new products, future looking, circular, just the PELA 360 and the circular economy, and how can we be a leader in that? And yeah, that's really exciting.
Oh, that's amazing. I am so inspired. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a fan of the product. I now know more about the company. If people want to check you guys out, I highly encourage you to, because they got more than just phone cases on that website, and they make all kinds of impact. They can go to www.pela.earth. That's right? PELA.earth. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. And sign up for our weekly newsletter too. It's Catherine, who is our editor. She's just amazing and brings you positive stories of positive things that are happening in the environment and in people and companies trying to be more sustainable. So it's a little breath of fresh air if you're interested in something like that each week.
Awesome. Thank you. So www.pela.earth. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for being a guest on Passion for Impact. I am, first and foremost, a consumer of your innovation and an ambassador for what PELA stands for. It's amazing the work you're doing and the platform you have created via your Passion for Impact. So thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it. It's an honor.
Thanks for having me, Trisha. Happy to be here.
If you enjoyed this episode of Passion for Impact, please share with your friends. Please rate and review this podcast. It would mean so much because it means more awareness when you do for the companies and the message. Thank you for listening. Cast your vote, make your impact, one socially conscious choice at a time.
Thank you for listening to the Passion for Impact podcast. Visit passionigniter.ca/podcast to subscribe for episode notes, links, and special offers from show guests. Cast your vote, make your impact, one socially conscious choice at a time.